each year. All right, folks, I have been given the green light. This is Castlevania Rondo of Blood by AgentWyvern. Good luck and have fun.
Thank you very much. So I am AgentWyvern, and I am joined today by the amazing Inubito.
Hello there. Glad to be here.
And we're going to be running some Rondo of Blood any %, so we're going to get started. I will let you know when the timer starts. Timing starts when we take control of Richter as we enter the prologue stage here on our wonderful sort of wooden carriage pulled by horses.
Death's got to give you the test first. So
yes, we are greeted by Death to start this, who will show up any second. So timing starts in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Right, so here's Death, who we only have to hit twice, who does very little, but don't worry, Death will be back to ruin our day in about 5 stages' time.
His last ditch fireball that he does.
Yes, a little green skull that sort of Death uses, realizes it does nothing, and decides, I'm never going to do that again. As we move on to stage 1. And so the key for this run is backflips, and lots of backflips. Also lots of RNG. So you're noticing here we're going to do a backflip followed by a whip cancel. And each one of these saves about 0.15 to 0.2 seconds, roughly. The reason we do the whip cancel is to stop a sliding animation, which sort of wastes frames as we sort of jump up here. Ooh.
I don't know what it is with games with Richter, because Soat and Symphony of Night, you have that weird fireball motion to jump through the air as well. So any game with Richter, you have weird movement tech you have to do for the speed run.
Yeah, Richter's a very interesting Belmont in that respect. Lots of really interesting movement. Yeah. So we did a little movement on the table there to get a good pattern, and then we threw an axe before landing to save a wonderful another 0.1 of a second.
Yeah, you got the shimmy in there. Gotta do the shimmy before you backflip.
And now we're moving on to the first boss, the Serpent. We're going to try and go for the quick fight here by sort of getting 2 hits in, then on the 3rd hit jumping before the boss comes up, so we have time to react, and if we can hit the boss quickly enough and start the holy water item crash, we will get a quick fight. But will that happen? Oh, let us find out.
I believe. You can do it.
Come on, we can do this. Where are we? Okay, good.
Well,
come on. Good. I hit the button. Was it quick enough? No!
Well,
oh dear.
Okay,
well, we get the backup. I felt like I was fairly quick with that, but it must have just not been quite fast enough. But usually, it's more consistent than it used to be. It used to be just sort of complete luck whether that would work or not, but now it just relies on skill, of which I have relatively little, unfortunately.
Another fun fact about this, every boss fight has a desperation attack at the end of the fight. It will not kill you except for one of them, and you always want to get hit by that because, as you can see, the life counter counts down. The less amount of life you have, the quicker you are at the end of the stage.
Indeed. And now, this is where the RNG really begins to show. So we've got the skeletons and bone pillars here. The skeletons each have 2 patterns. We've got the slow pattern there where we take damage where the skeleton jumps. They can also do a charge pattern. Okay, double bad skeleton RNG. Will we see triple bad skeleton RNG? Oh, we will.
Oh, we do.
It's that sort of day, Rondo, is it? Okay. I see how it is, Rondo. I see how things are going. So
you're getting all the bad RNG out of the way in the beginning of the run. That's what's happening.
Usually I wouldn't get the food there, but I'm going to do it just to be safe. So if we whip before we land on this boat, we can sort of walk and push the boat forward a little bit. The physics of how that works are still being debated amongst our best scientists. But, okay, that could have ended badly. I think I jumped a bit later. I could have fell off the boat, and that would have been the most unfortunate way to sort of incur time loss. But we're okay. So, yes, we're now being attacked by loads of mermen. The ferryman is sort of most unconcerned as hordes of mermen sort of attack our vessel, but this is mainly a little auto-scroller here, so if there's any messages to read, now would be a good time.
Absolutely. Also, I want to say hey to AgentWyvern. So sorry about that. It's awesome to meet you, and I'm looking forward to this run here. So one one of your friends here, $100 from Socrates, who says, great job, Mannix. Outstanding run on how strong the bloodlines are. Speaking of blood, let's get excited for this next run. Let's go AgentWyvern. So again, thank you for that correction. I appreciate that, and very much looking forward to this run. I have one more here, $25 from Talviz, who says, Castlevania Rondo of Blood has been my favorite Belmont, so you know I have to donate. Here's hoping for that blind run. Greetings from Ireland.
Awesome stuff. Socrates is an amazing runner of Castlevania 1. Mannix has also did a brilliant run there of Bloodlines as well. So many amazing people in the Castlevania speedrunning community.
Absolutely. Ever since I started running this game, everyone's kind of welcomed me in the CV community with open arms, and it's really been an amazing experience. So.
Yep. So we dealt with that mini boss there just by throwing a well-timed axe. We just had to get rid of the eyes. There's not much to that. And now we're going to try and backflip in front of this next enemy to hopefully get a pattern where it'll jump over us. We'll see if that works or not, but let's see. Yep, there we go.
Got it.
Skeleton hits us, that's fine. So I'm going to go for a strat here that saves about a second. Hello? Oh dear. Ah! Everything's fine. We're going to go for this strat, let's see. Yep, and we're fine. So what that does is, usually when you fall down there, you'll get hit to the left side of the room, but if you sort of jump, like do a neutral jump and then sort of move over, then it'll hit you directly into the door, and it saves about a second when done efficiently. Okay, hello Dogether, the Lord of RNG.
Dogether just kind of goes where he wants in this fight, so it's very hard to predict and where to throw your axes.
Dogether does what Dogether wants at a time of Dogether's choosing. Luckily, Dogether was fairly nice there. The flame attack is like the worst thing to deal with as we do the Inubito strat here, where to avoid Dogether moving too much.
Call it the parking spot. Just park Richter and take it. Another thing about Dogether is sometimes he can just peace out and go to the top of the screen and be vanished for like 5 or 10 seconds. It's really infuriating when he does that and runs away.
Yeah,
thankfully he didn't do it this time.
Screen. Yeah, it goes completely off screen. Dogether will return and his eyeball will be missing, which is most unusual. Okay, and so we're going to do lots of backflips here in this first room, hopefully not fall into the water. That would be a most unfortunate situation. Never used to be this many backflips in this room, and then I decided to add more because why not? You can never have enough backflips. Woo!
There you go.
Okay,
nice
that
cancel.
went fairly well. Through the gate, and now we have to deal with some frogs, which will behave the same way each time. We just sort of hopefully have to land in front of them or jump over us, and then you can get anywhere up to 5 skeletons. We've got 1 already. 5 is like the worst possible RNG.
Sometimes you get lucky and there's 0 skeletons, but I've literally seen that 1 time.
Yeah, that happens very rarely, unfortunately. But backflipping here. Oh, in case I didn't mention, this was originally released in 1993 on the PC Engine CD. I'm playing on the Wii Virtual Console release, hence the Wii Remote. An interesting choice for running a video game, certainly. So now we're into Fleeman Alley, and there's lots of RNG here. Seems to be getting good RNG.
Oh. You kind of want them to stay to the left, because if they stay to the left, you can just keep flipping and you just sail through the stage. But when they come in from the right, it's a little scary.
Unfortunately, I had to talk, at which point, when I say good RNG is happening, bad RNG proceeds to happen. But okay, we're on to Dullahan. Dullahan at least will behave the same way each time, providing I don't mess up. Moment of truth.
And this is where we pick up the book and probably keep it the rest of the run.
Hopefully. We shall soon see. Okay, jump, walk into the lance. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Throw the book and whip, and good fight at Dullahan. Jolly good.
That's the quick fight.
Yep, and now we will first grab this red object, known in some circles as an orb, and then we move on to stage 5. Oh, stage 5.
Yeah, this is really where the game gets terrible, guys. Something to note on. Go ahead.
Go on, sorry.
Something to note on backflips is you have a maximum backflip and a short backflip. So that's another thing on top of doing the backflips. So to get the maximum distance possible, you need to wait just long enough before you hit jump a second time. And as we see here, You got them both. We're good to avoid those enemies. You have to do the maximum backflip on that section. Otherwise, you're going to get hit or jump into the water.
Yeah, I tried to throw the book there to get rid of both enemies so the door will open quicker, because that door will not open until the enemies have done their death animation, but I seem to have missed. But it's fine, but we approach the sword. This is where the RNG goes from mildly concerning to somewhat terrifying, because Richter's sub-weapons can't hit the sword, so we sort of have to wait for it to come down. And this is where most runs end in PB attempts. Okay, but not good, but it could have been worse. And get rid of the skeletons with one book throw there as we approach the painting. Now, this painting we're going to use 2 books, 2 whips, and then hopefully it should all be fine. There is a strategy you can do where you can get rid of a painting with just 1 book, but it involves jumping into it, and if you mistime it, the painting will eat you. And I'd rather not be eaten by an oil painting today. It was not on my to-do list. Okay, so now we have to...
We're approaching a really dangerous part of the game right now, because to do it quickly, you have to take a lot of damage boosts, like just that. And on top of taking all these damage boosts, you're pretty much headed into the hardest boss fight of the game, which is Death. And much like Doga there, Death kind of does what he wants to do and attacks you as many times as he wants to, so it's really rough in this section.
Okay, we had some bad RNG from the birds there, so I'm definitely going to get the food here before the death fight. That was a little bit scary. I'm hoping we should have enough health. The death fight is the hardest fight in the game by far. There's a lot of RNG involved in where death moves and where the scythes go, and this is where things could horribly go wrong, but let us try, let us try.
You might get lucky. Let's see how Death is feeling today.
Okay, good RNG so far.
Yeah, you really want to keep him under the boat by hitting him in his head like that. Sometimes he can get away from you, but if you can keep him down there, it really makes this fight go faster.
Okay, got double hit in there. You can sometimes get triple hits in. Okay, that was a decent phase 1. That was all right. Now we've got to sort of avoid the skulls here. And if we get hit by one of these... Whew, if we get hit by one of those, then we have to do another round of them. So we're going to go for the quick phase 2 because we've got plenty of health.
Those skulls earlier are also RNG, like everything else in this game.
Yeah. Sometimes they can hide behind the ones that are currently being fired at you, so a second one suddenly comes out of nowhere and surprises you at the last minute and can hit you off the boat, and that is most upsetting when that happens. But it's gone well, and we move on. Well, we actually move on to a cutscene here, so if there's any more messages, now's a jolly good time.
Anime break time.
Absolutely. We have $5 from Infinity X2K, who says, I came for Simon Belmont, but it appears I'm watching Simone Biles with all these backflips. Keep up the great work. Runners and staff, you are both greatly appreciated. We also have $23 from a non-binary code. It says, I, for one, am tired of all these birds being able to see what they're doing. Blindfold them. Also, bloodsucker hype. Mr. Have a Nice Day donates $25 saying, I'm working on a Castlevania pun, but I'll have to get there in a Rondo bout way. Oh. I expect to get some groans from everyone here. Runner, commentator.
No, I love a good pun. I am just, yes, they fuel me.
Oh yeah. Can I just say also, I appreciated the sound you made for RNG. I was chuckling over here. That was quite good.
Oh, well.
There's a lot of it in this. For sure.
And now there's a very long-armed Dracula as well. That is a sizable arm. We have to always point that out during this cutscene. Unfortunately, we do not rescue Annette, because this is an any % run, and we unfortunately don't have time. So we must swiftly move on and try and defeat Dracula as quickly as possible.
There is a 100% run where you go and rescue all the maidens, but this ain't it, Chief. We ain't doing it.
No, we're in a rush here. We've got to save the world.
Absolutely.
Right, and so now we move on to stage 6, which is a bit of a boss rush, really. It's all of the bosses from Castlevania 1, sort of minus Dracula. And so I often call this stage sort of Castlevania 1 remastered. Not too much RNG here. There's a little bit on the first boss and also on the shaft fight, but well, hopefully, as long as I don't horribly mess up, it should go all right. Should being the key word there.
Yeah. The music is a pretty cool remix of the Castlevania 1 boss music as well. I always got to point that out.
Yeah, it's a great version of Poison Mind as well. Like, it's only a few notes, but it's some very well done few notes.
The soundtrack in this whole game is pretty incredible. I've heard a rumor that the devs, since it was one of the first CD-based games for Castlevania, they really wanted to, make the soundtrack really great and use the CD technology, and I think they were quite successful in this.
Oh yes, did an excellent job. This is just an amazing soundtrack. Literally, there's not a single tune in this entire sort of game that I dislike. It's all amazing. Okay, moving on to the first boss, the bat fight here. So we're gonna throw the book at hopefully the right time, and this is where some RNG we can sometimes get a bad pattern. Looks like we're gonna get a good pattern though. Well, okay, I've never seen that where the bat sort of goes to the right after that good start there, but oh well, let's make sure. Sometimes I spend too long collecting those hearts and then I'm not in the right position. I think we did get a double hit there. I'm not quite sure how the double hits work yet. It's something to do with crouching. Oh, that was a really quick fight thanks to some additional double hits. Jolly good.
As long as you knock down the bat before his first drill, because he drills down into the ground, and that's a pretty good
quite
time.
Awkward to deal with, yeah. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I was just counting the amount of whips there. Okay, a couple of extra whips than we needed, but it's still fine. The idea was to throw the book there to get rid of all the mummy wrappings and try and get some additional hits. So Frankenstein 1, 2. Okay, sort of out of range there. Oh dear. Why do you have so much health? What have I feel like I've missed something. I have missed a crucial step, but I can't remember what. Did I forget to throw? Did I throw the Bible wrong? I'm not even entirely sure.
I think you missed the hit on the second round there.
Well, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. You're still there.
It's fine. We're still in it. We're still in it. Might have taken more damage than needed, but hopefully the shaft fight will go well. We're going to time the Bibles to try and throw the books here. There. Okay, good hit. Oh dear. Oh, okay, sure. Okay, we're gonna... Woo. This is a little scary. Now, if you were playing this on the PlayStation Portable or the PlayStation 4 version, this boss has nearly half the amount of health. No idea why. It's one of the few changes they made in that port, but unfortunately we're on the Wii Virtual Console version, so full amount of health for Shaft there as we move on to Stage 7.
I mentioned earlier about the Desperations attacks. Those orbs that fall to the ground, those are the Desperation attacks that can kill you. So if you don't have the health for it, just avoid them. Otherwise, you're going to be really disappointed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure almost everyone has lost either done that when playing the game casually or when they were first speedrunning. Everyone's lost at least one run to forgetting that Desperation attack will ruin your day. Okay, so now we're on to the bridge, which is another nightmare casually. We're going to try and backflip. Bats can spawn behind us. The bats can sort of often spawn relative to your height, which can put them at some really awkward heights, but we've got some really good RNG there, actually. That's been a while since I've seen such good RNG there.
Very nice. They can come in from the left side as well, but that makes it way harder to cross.
Ooh. Everything's all right. Okay, so we can't take there's an extra boost I was going to do if I was at full health, but we unfortunately got hit by a bone there. So let's just try not to mess up. Let's see. Second try gear skip, that's good. Okay, try to climb up here with some hopefully well-timed backflips. Okay, nearly went for the boost, but I don't want to do that when I'm not on full health, because if I then miss this difficult backflip coming up, then it's a bad time.
Similar to Stage 5, there's a lot of damage boosts you have to take. This is really the hardest section in the speed run coming up, so I'm sure we can do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's go. Let's go. Yep, there we go.
And we got it.
Let's
GG's.
go. Woo. I'm not quite sure how precise that is, but it's pretty precise. It's definitely the most precise backflip in the game. As we move on to the Shaft Ghost fight. Do you know what? I'm gonna get the food. I normally wouldn't on this much health, but I'd rather not risk it since everything else has gone all right so far.
Yeah, you can lock Shaft in a juggle, but if you lose that juggle, it's a really bad time. He throws bone dragons, he throws bats, all kinds of stuff at you. So hopefully we'll get it.
Yeah, now depending on the the frame rate of the capture, sometimes you can't see this boss. I think you should be able to since I'm on 60 frames a second. But let's see. So I'm gonna throw a book and then we're gonna try. Oh, that was really, really unlucky. Oh dear me. That was incredibly. We got hit by a bat there at just the wrong angle.
That is the first time I've seen that happen with that bat.
Oh dear. Well. This is a little scary.
As I was saying, Shaft can really ruin your day with this fight, with all the enemies he can throw at you, all the abilities he has.
Okay, so we had to use a lot of extra books there because I unfortunately didn't get the juggle initially because of that really, really unfortunate placement of the bat. So this could make Dracula a little interesting. I'm hoping we should have enough hearts to get through at least phase 1 fairly effectively. But we will have
that
to
was a good
see.
recovery there. That was a very nice recovery.
It was okay. It was okay. Unfortunately, it used up a lot of hearts though. But now we move on to Dracula, where optimally we want a 4 cycle. Nearly just jumped off. That would have. I did that on world record phase once. I'd rather not do that now, but luckily we're all right. This is not a good amount of hearts, so we might be in trouble here. But we should at least be able to show what the first couple of cycles look like. Okay, good.
Yeah, to get the full 4 cycle, you have to throw the Bible and then jump up and hit Dracula's head on the 4th hit. It's way more precise than it looks.
Yeah, if Dracula's on the left, you have to do a jump. Don't know why I went for an extra whip there, it wasn't needed, but we got the 4 cycle, but now we do not unfortunately have enough books left to go for a good phase 2.
This fight looks familiar. It's basically how Symphony of the Night starts, so...
Okay, yeah. Ooh.
That toe's
Okay, now
dangerous.
that's good RNG, because Dracula will start throwing out lots of fireballs here. And good, that was alright considering we ran out of books.
Down goes Dracula.
Down goes Dracula indeed, and timing will be coming up here as we grab the orb. Let's see. Ooh. Jolly good. And that's Castlevania Rondo of Blood any percent. So I'd like to thank Inubito for joining me today for commentary. It was very kind.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me, Wyvern.
Yeah, and thank you to the whole Castlevania speedrunning community who have been a genuine pleasure to interact with over the last couple of years. It's been really wonderful. And thank you to GDQ as well for having us on. And I wish all of the best for the rest of the runners.
Welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick 2021 online, powered by Twitch. Let's hear it one more time for AgentWyvern there for that beautiful, beautiful run of Castlevania Rondo of Blood. I do want to let you all know, thank you so much for your support. We have reached the blindfolded Turbo Tunnel run. We will be seeing that shortly. However, let us not forget one of the best Castlevanias of all time. Coming up next is Castlevania Any Percent Race by Two Snack Socrates and Freeland. Very much looking forward to this race. But before we get there, time for some donations. We have $255 from GoGo Otaku, who says, gotta donate during my favorite Castlevania PC Engine Rondo of Blood. Give a Rondo applause for these amazing tunes. We have $5 from Countdown, who says, thanks to AgentWyvern for running my favorite game and one of my top 3 speedruns I've done in the last 10 years. Best of luck on Death and Beyond. Rondo Richter for life. Shout outs to Sumi, get some sleep. I agree, and with this also, folks, hydration check. Everyone make sure you drink some water. Very important. And with that being said, folks, we are going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, y'all. We have a $500 donation from Anonymous. No comment, but thank you very, very much for your donation. We appreciate that. And speaking of the charity, I believe now we have an interview between SpikeVegeta and Ella Watson-Stryker from MMSF. Take it away, y'all.
And welcome back, everyone, to Summer Games Done Quick 2021. I am SpikeVegeta. Hope you all have been enjoying the event so far. I'm sure there's been lots of great speedruns, lots of generosity being thrown down by everyone in the chat, everybody all over the world. But I'm actually going to take you back in time a little bit, recorded before the event started. Got to have this amazing, what I'm sure is about to be an amazing interview with Ella Watson-Stryker, working for MSF. Doctors Without Borders. Ella, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. No pressure there in that intro.
I was about to say, I'm building it up, and hey, don't worry about it. It's I'm sure you'll look less stupid than me. It's great. Don't worry about it. So I first want to just ask you, obviously I just introduced you as you do work for MSF, and what is your position?
So I'm currently the humanitarian representative for MSF in the United States. So my job is to be the representative of all of our operations to the U.S. government.
Wow.
And the sort of broader Washington, D.C. community at times as well.
That sounds like a very, obviously there's, all the healthcare, everything on top of that, but then you actually have to be the one to talk to the government about it. How stressful is that extra layer for you?
Well, I think it's actually quite a bit less stressful than some of the work I did in the field when I was responding directly to humanitarian crises.
Yeah, I was going to say, I read up a little bit about you that you've had responses to, obviously we've got stuff like coronavirus going on, but Ebola, the Ebola virus. Do you want to tell us just a little bit about your experience there?
Yeah, I had worked internationally in a variety of different countries and with different organizations, but my first time working with MSF was in March of 2014 when I got a phone call saying, hey, something's happening in Guinea. Can you go? And I said, sure, I guess so. Not doing anything else really important right now. Sure. What's going on in Guinea? And they said, well, we don't really know yet, but we need you to get there as quickly as possible. So I got on the plane, and on the way, they announced that it was an Ebola outbreak. Oh my God. So I arrived in Geneva for briefings at our office there, got some information, picked up some more colleagues. We all got on the plane and went to what I was told would be 2 months in an Ebola outbreak. They said, hey, Ebola is really hard, but it's short. They don't last long. You're going to be there for 2 months, and then other people are going to come. They're going to close the project after you. It'll be fine. 9 weeks later, I was still there, and it was not ending. Oh my God. So I ended up spending really the rest of 2014 and 2015 going back and forth to all three of the most affected countries, actually.
Oh my gosh. That's so was that your first experience with MSF? That was kind of how you got introduced to the whole thing? Oh my gosh. So what was it that, I guess, is there any inspiration? I like to talk to people who've worked with MSF that, is it just from wanting to help people in general? Is there something else to it? What is it for you?
I think part of it is really rooted in the fact that I was the annoying, whiny kid who always said, that's not fair. And sure. My parents would always respond, well, then what would make it fair? And I see a lot of the work of humanitarians is to respond to situations that are just inherently unfair. And we can't fix them, but we are there in solidarity. We can save some lives along the way. We can raise awareness and make sure people know what's happening to their fellow humans in another location. And so it's really, I think, kind of rooted in that sense of that childish sense of wanting the world to be an inherently more fair place.
That's amazing. I love getting to do, obviously all the interviews I get to run throughout the week are such a joy. I get to talk to a lot of people passionate about their craft and gaming and whatnot. It's amazing to get to talk to all of you with MSF, because I know there's such a human aspect to it. That's everything, just wanting to help people. And it's great getting to hear stuff like that. Do you have a particular story from all of your years working with them that I guess you find you are most proud of to project to others?
It's funny because as an organization, we're really hypercritical, and we spend most of our energy trying to figure out what we did wrong and how we can do it better. Wow. So it's actually quite difficult to answer those questions because most of our energy is not thinking about what, we sort of do that. Okay, well, that went well, we'll do that again. I think it's more, so it's hard to say a specific story. I think it's more about specific moments. And the moments that I'm most proud of are the moments where I was really connecting with people who were really different from myself, who'd had a really different life experience, but connecting in a way that made me realize how similar we actually were. And, there's a woman that she was a patient of ours during the Ebola outbreak. I worked with her in Sierra Leone. And she was really, really sick. And we spent a lot of time just trying to keep her eating, keep her hydrated, give her a sense of hope. And she survived. Wow. And taking her home was really this powerful moment. And I realized, we were very similar in age. We had a lot of, there was a song that came on the radio, and we both kind of spontaneously responded, started dancing along. And I realized how similar we were, and yet we had very few words in common. She spoke a little bit of English, but she'd grown up speaking a different language, and very huge differences in the rest of the pattern of our lives, and yet so many similarities at the same time. And there are a lot of moments like that you have with people when you're working in a situation of crisis, where you come very much as the outsider, but you build these really strong connections all the same.
Everybody's dealt different hands in life, but it's cool to see just everybody just wanting to help people. That's amazing. I wanted to talk to you in our pre-interview. We got to talk a little bit about, different passions you have. And one you brought up with me was just the importance of independent funding. Obviously a massive thing here in MSF. If you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's really, when it comes down to the way that we work, we're really focused on humanitarian principles of neutrality and impartiality. We're not arriving with a political agenda. And a big part of that is the independence in our funding. And, people in movies, there's a humanitarian crisis and then the saviors come in and it's not a particularly critical exchange. But the reality is really different. We arrive very often and people say, hey, who are you? Why are you coming in? And very often they ask, where is your funding coming from? And being able to say, hey, our funding is just coming from average people, right? The bulk of our funding is coming from people making individual donations. I mean, my grandma doesn't have a lot of money, but she sends a check here and there. My mom is a donor. So it's people who are really family members, friends, everyday citizens from around the world who are funding that work. And it's really important in how communities see us. That's really powerful for them. They feel this connection to that, oh, wow, people I've never met before all over the world care about me. Wow. And that's such a healing experience for our patients to know. It also lets us work with safety in a lot of places. A lot of the areas we work are conflict zones. It can be really difficult if people think you're coming for a political reason. And so being able to say, hey, our money is not here as part of a political agenda. Our money is letting us provide medical care, and that's it. That's the end of the story. And so it provides a level of security that we wouldn't have otherwise. And then the other aspect that I love is just this very utilitarian reasoning, which is when you have funding coming from individual people, they're giving you the money to do the work that needs to be done in the moment in the best way possible. And when you have restricted funding from governments or large institutions, often you don't have the flexibility to be able to do that. So I can go out, MSF can say, hey, I need you to go work on this project. And this is what we think is happening. If I get there and they say, hey, you know what? We thought that this was going to be the need, but the need is actually completely different. There's no one in the back office saying, oh, you can't do that because the money is not for that.
Sure.
The money is for the medical need that the person needs in front of you today. And that's incredibly powerful as a responder to be able to put the money and the humanitarian response where it's needed most in that moment.
There you go, folks. Tens of thousands of you out there that you can be the everyday donor right now. So think about that next time we're thrown down for any of our incentives throughout the rest of the week, that your dollars can go a lot further in this organization. So, Ella, before I let you get out of here, I just got to ask you a quick question. We play video games all week here. We're all for the donations, obviously, for MSF, for Doctors Without Borders. Do you have any experience, any background in video games yourself?
Gosh, I was afraid you would ask. I don't. I'm woefully ignorant of the video game world. I think the last time I played a video game, I was babysitting, and I think it was Mario Brothers, and I was roundly schooled by a 6-year-old. So
hey,
that's the extent of my experience.
Maybe that 6-year-old is up on the GDQ stage at this point, about to speedrun Super Mario Brothers. We don't know. We're still playing games from the 80s, so don't worry. We're on that same boat with you. We got you. Ella, thank you so much for joining me today. Again, all of the work you and everyone at MSF is just amazing. It's so heartwarming and it's uplifting. So thank you for all the work you do. We're going to kick it back up to the front for more awesome speedruns and more generous donations from all of you for Summer Games Done Quick 2021. Have a good day, everyone.
All right, thank you all so much for that interview. That was awesome. Time for a few more donations here before our Castlevania race. Now, because we're trying to be careful with DMCA, I'm going to kind of speak this like a text-to-speech, but I want to let you know that these lyrics were amazing. So $25 from Gleam Eyes. Again, I'm going to do this text-to-speech style just so we don't get DMCA'd here. When a monster comes along, you must whip it. Before the danger gets too strong, you must whip it. Now whip it into shape. Backflip, go straight. Don't sue me, Devo. Thank you so much for that donation. I wish I could have sang that, but I'm trying to be careful here, y'all. Great lyrics, though. I appreciate that. We have a $777 donation from Mott, who says, it's always nice to see those intimidatingly hard Castlevania games on GDQ. The runners make it look so easy. Thank you very much for your donation. We appreciate that. Shane 2D donates $50 saying Castlevania Black is always an excuse enough for a day off of work. Good luck, Freeland. And it'd be awesome to see throughout the run who you all support throughout this race again. And again, such a classic Castlevania race. You may call it a classic Vania race. I've seen that term go around quite a bit. So let me know, are you supporting Two Snack, Socrates, by the way, love that name, or Freeland? Let me know where your loyalties lie. I would love to see love for all three runners. So since y'all were awesome and we met that Battletoads incentive, coming up next in terms of incentives here, La Mulana is coming up soonish. So again, the MSX style original soundtrack is $997 to the modern remake of $395. They're both great, don't get me wrong. I would love to see that bid war be a little closer because that modern remake soundtrack is so good. So please get those donations in if you haven't already. There were some questions about it earlier, by the way. We do have the bonus game 2 up as well. That is Grand Theft Auto 3. We are currently $32,660 out of $90,000. And of course, who could forget the Dishonored incentive coming up? That would be the Brigmore Witches DLC. Currently $5,850 out of $10,000. So again, La Mulana remake music bid war. We have the Dishonored Brigmore Witches DLC and the bonus game 2 of Grand Theft Auto 3. Plenty of great incentives to donate for. $50 from Rex Saucy, who says, my sister works with MSF as a field worker. She's currently stationed in Ethiopia working on the Tigray conflict, which is a bit terrifying as the situation there is really bad. She risks her life when she's on missions, but MSF does everything they can do to help out victims in difficult situations and keep their workers safe. Thank you so much, everyone, for your donations. This really means a lot. Let's go Turbo Tunnel. And again, Rex, that donation did help us meet that Turbo Tunnel incentive. And again, this is benefiting Doctors Without Borders, folks, so thank you very much for your donations. Whether you donate $5 or $100, every donation counts, so thank you. $10 from Mickey Valentine, who says, love seeing these interviews with folks from MSF. It's incredible knowing how working together, we are funding a group of professionals who do truly amazing work. Let's start a $10 hype train to say thank you. I think we could do that. Got plenty of incentives here to work on. Bomb6226 donates $20 saying a small donation towards bonus game 2. I'm fresh out of puns, so I would have used something canned, but not clever. Good luck, runners. Can always use puns. This is your last chance, by the way, to get in those Castlevania puns, y'all. Castlevania puns, and then after that, frog puns again, toad puns, etc. Battletoads is coming up. So again, Castlevania puns and frog puns. Let's see them. Let's see them in that $10 train that was mentioned. Excalibur donates $15 saying, gotta go fast. And Juicy Loose donates $25 saying, love me some Castlevania. Michelle donates $100 saying, watching GDQ while working, thank you for keeping me entertained. Good luck to all the runners. Pent donates $25 saying, donating for a chance at that 6 Starry Night portrait. Good luck to all the runners and the staff. Let's go SGDQ 2021. And folks, I just want to let you know I am seeing support for the runners in the chat. So thank you so much again for showing each runner some love during this. Carson donates $15 saying, good morning, GDQ. Thanks for keeping me company while I clean my house so it doesn't look like all of those dusty castles. Victor Prime donates $25 saying Castlevania hype. Ginger donates $25 saying, hey, SGDQ, always happy to support and watch this amazing event. The Castlevania block is always a good time, and this has been no exception. Keep up the awesome work. Wormsbane donates $15 saying, love watching GDQ and the Castlevania block is a great way to start the morning. And Rowie donates $25 saying, gotta get in the Castlevania spirit and donate for a shot at that starry, horrible night to have a curse. Desmond donates $10 saying, what a fantastic day to have a curse. I don't think y'all can decide if it's a horrible day or a good day to have a curse. There's many split opinions about that. It's interesting. Justin Dark donates $25 saying, coffee, Castlevania, TMR, a blindfolded turbo tunnel. Oh, I can get behind this one. $20 from Derulia, who says, more games in capital letters. I assume that's talking about bonus game 2. Silky Trumpet donates $25 saying, great games, even better cause. Let's keep showing the world what gamers can do. Fantastic fun here. $25 from Carson.